Hi guys, welcome back to Bookhaven with me, Kim. Today I'm going to be doing a feature on a fabulous book I just finished, which is Brightstorm, a Skyship Adventure by Vashti. So stick around. So first off, I want to thank you all for helping me reach 100 subscribers. I'm very thankful for all your support in helping me reach that milestone. If you haven't seen already, we did a bloopers video to celebrate having 99 subscribers. So if you haven't seen that, I recommend checking it out. I'll link it down below. It's funny. My husband had a fun time editing with that. And now I wanted to tell you about this fabulous book I just finished called Brightstorm, a Skyship Adventure by Vashti. I finished this in one sitting, which is so rare for me, but I absolutely 100% with all my heart adored this book. This is a story about Arthur and Maudie Brightstorm, who are siblings that have just received devastating news that their father has died while trying to reach the South Polaris, which I think is kind of like the South Pole if you were to compare it to our world. He's this adventurous explorer that has gone all over their world, which is different than ours. You've got 3 continents, but we'll get into that a little bit later on. The kids have just found out that he has not come back, but they don't think that everything they've heard is the truth, and they start doing a little bit of digging. Eventually, a mysterious clue leads the twins to further question sort of the circumstances and truth of what they've been told, and that leads them on quite an epic adventure. Now, the first thing that caught me about this book was the cover art. It absolutely drew me in, and I thought it was beautiful. I'll show you a little bit here. You've got the sky ship and the city, and you can see the twins here, Maudie and Arthur, and this bird which appears in the story. And you've got still, it's very eye-catching on the back as well. So Skyship Adventure, and the art kind of grabbed me in at first, and within the first couple of pages I love the writing style and I was hooked. And like I said, one reading and I was done. It's not a really large book. It's probably about 340 some pages. So although it's not stated, this story kind of gave me steampunk vibes because Arthur, the boy, one of the twins in this book, has a mechanical arm, and his sister is a bit of an engineering genius. And Arthur has his own set of skills, but he's, throughout the story, just starting to come to terms with who he is and basically what skills he brings to the table. Also, it takes place in what I would want to compare to like Victorian times in London, from what I can tell. It's got a bit of a Oliver Twist feel at the beginning. Some bad things happen to the twins when their father is declared dead, and there is a bit of a smudge against the family name, but then things do get better. I don't want to spoil anything, but you have a bit of a found family and a really fast-paced adventure. I would have liked to see a little bit more world building in this story, but the pacing was phenomenal. It just blew me away. There was never a dull moment, but it wasn't too much at the same time. Let's talk about the antagonist in this book. There is a bad guy, or a bad woman, we'll say, that you will just love to hate. She kind of reminded me of how I felt towards Dolores Umbridge in the Harry Potter series, and it was just really well done how this character was written out. In this world, you have 3 continents. You have the first continent where the characters are all starting off and living, which is kind of comparable to, you know, where we live, but say back in Victorian times. You have the second world, which I would have loved to explore a lot more. I hope there's another book that focuses on the second world. It's kind of like a desert landscape. And then you have the third continent, which is comparable to the Arctic, I think, or to the Antarctic. Covered in snow, creatures that live in that kind of environment in the tundra. But in this world, also I should mention, the animals are really interesting. You have sapient animals, really highly intelligent animals that are almost kind of like a familiar, for lack of a better way to describe it. Like some people have an animal that that is bonded to them that's a sapient animal. So if you're looking for a really imaginative and fast-paced book, I would highly recommend this. If you've read The Polar Bear Explorers Club by Alex Bell, which is another one of my favorite middle grade reads, and you like that, I would highly recommend this book. Or similarly, if you end up reading this and love it, Alex Bell's book, The Polar Bear Explorers Club, is somewhat similar in the feels it will give you. As I might have mentioned before, I have a feeling this will be one of my favorite books for the entire year. I was really blown away and just had so much fun with this story. Vashti Hardy has another book coming out May 2nd called WildSpark, which I talked about in my most anticipated reads of 2019, which you can also find linked down below. And as for my rating, you might have guessed already, I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars. The one thing I will say is that it was a little difficult to get my hands on a copy of this book. It wasn't at any local bookstores. I couldn't order it, so I did have to go on to Amazon UK to get it. But hopefully that will change in the near future, because this is such a good book. I think just everyone who loves fantasy, who loves adventure, who loves steampunk should check this out. Thanks again for joining me. Again, I hope you really do pick up this book, because I guarantee you or someone you know will absolutely love it. If you have enjoyed the content today, hit that like button and subscribe if you're new to the channel. If you have any questions about this book or have any book suggestions that are similar to this for me, I'd love to hear in the comments down below. Until next time, keep reading. Bye guys.